Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my fiance, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is January 23rd, 1999.
It is, and you know what's coming.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
I was confused because there's so many things
Well, I
coming
mean, our wedding's coming up.
Yeah, that's coming up. That's what I thought you were referring to, but
But then you said Valentine's Day, and, you know, that's also coming.
I went with Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's all coming, baby.
So I'm kind of freaking out. It's getting too close.
Oh, you got cold feet?
No, but it's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
What is there to deal with?
All the planning. All the, like, fucking, you know, like, seating charts and, like, food choices and, like, bridesmaids' dresses and all of the stuff.
Yeah, well, we got 2 weeks. 2 weeks we're going to be married.
Ah!
We've been dating since 1994.
Right?
Well, since 1993. Right, right before 94.
Before we started the show. Yeah.
Before 94.
Yeah. It's been quite a while.
It's been quite a journey, Carol.
That it has.
People have said, why don't you put a ring on that finger?
What?
I don't know. Your reactions are a bit muted. I think you're very nervous about this wedding.
I'm very nervous and very excited.
Sounds good. You know what I'm very excited about, Carol?
What's that, dear?
I'm very excited about Sam Raimi.
Why?
You don't know Sam Raimi?
I don't.
Raimi.
What's up with
He's
Sam
a Michigan
Raimi?
man.
Okay.
He's a director. He directed a new movie called A Simple Plan
Okay.
about money or something like that. Bill Paxton killing people for money or something. I don't know. I mean, not killing people for money. Like it's like a
Heist?
no. It's like a Coen Brothers type thing. I think like he was friends with the Coens or his friends with the Coens.
Okay.
And it's like one of those types of movies where it's like money is at the center of all this, but there's betrayals and murders and stuff. I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. But Sam Raimi, for those of you that don't know, grew up in the area with his brother, Ivan Raimi, or whatever. And
Let's get his whole life story here.
and Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Bruce
Yes.
Campbell. Briscoe County Jr.'s own Bruce Campbell. They made The Evil Dead.
It's a great movie.
The Evil Dead 2. And Army of Darkness. Mm-hmm. And also then Darkman.
Oh, I don't think I've seen Darkman.
Darkman with Liam Neeson.
No.
I'm Liam Neeson. And I'm a Darkman.
I am familiar with Liam Neeson, but...
Everybody knows I'm a Darkman. It's like a Batman type thing.
Okay.
Where it's a comic book and Sam Raimi, I don't know, he's I think Darkman is maybe not I think he's an original character, but it's like a comic book.
Okay.
It's like a comical book. I think the Batman movies, the comic book movies that they've made recently suck. So give one to Sam Raimi. Let him direct a Batman.
There we go.
Or
See how it goes.
Or something like that.
Sure.
He'd be good at that. Anyway, he wants to make a movie in Detroit again, he says.
Yay.
Well, that's this movie. Metro Detroit's own Sam Raimi joins the Hollywood A-list with A Simple Plan, which opened Friday. A dark fable of conscience-crushing greed. It's being widely hailed as the one to watch when Oscar nominations are announced on February 9th.
We should watch it.
Quote, I was attracted to the fact that in the screenplay, I immediately identified with Bill Paxton's character. Or Pullman. Which one is it?
I don't know. I know
Which
who
one's
Bill
Paxton?
Paxton is. I don't know who Bill Pullman is.
Bill Pullman was in While You Were Sleeping.
Okay.
So that when he leaning. He's leaning. So that when he takes the money, $4 million found in a grounded plane, when he makes that decision, he dragged me right along with him through the mud, Raimi says, speaking by phone from Los Angeles. Wow, make a movie in Detroit, but speak from the phone from Los Angeles, huh, Sam Raimi? Fucking Hollywood elite.
I would love to speak on a phone from Los Angeles.
Would you?
I mean, I'd like to do a lot more than that in Los Angeles, but yeah.
What the fuck you want to do with Sam Raimi in Los
No,
Angeles?
not with Sam Raimi.
Jesus Christ, we're supposed to be getting married.
You're silly.
I think we've been taught, in America at least, that money is the answer to a lot of things. In the picture, each of the characters believes that money holds the key to their dreams.
Money, money, money.
I love
Money.
I love people that refer to movies as the pictures.
That does show his age.
Obviously, it's great to have some money. Yeah, I bet it is, Sam. But certainly, as the picture shows, money does not hold the answers to our lives. Raimi's Detroit connections are strong. Born in Royal Oak, he grew up in Detroit. Yeah, kind of. Then moved. I think he grew up in. I want to say he grew up in Livonia or something like that. But born in Royal Oak, he grew up in Detroit. Then moved as a teen to Franklin. He graduated from Birmingham's Seaholm High School and Michigan State University.
Okay, so he went to fucking Seaholm. He did not grow up in Detroit. Like,
Right,
that is
exactly.
not the same thing.
He went to Birmingham. He grew up in Birmingham.
It's like the rich area, just for those of you who don't understand.
It's a local reference.
Yeah.
Then set up a film shop in Ferndale. We're familiar with Ferndale.
That's actually where I grew up.
Detroit really is a great place to get started making movies because it has a very deep talent pool. Yeah, come get us, Sam, Raimi said. And it's not just the technical part, the labs and so forth. There's also some wonderful acting talent in Detroit theater.
Sure.
In my own case, I was lucky to be in Detroit as a beginner because I had a lot of great friends who were into making Super 8 films, and all of us would make pictures after school. Now that he's earned most of the stripes Hollywood has to offer, does Raimi yearn to come home and make a major movie? There's a woman from the Detroit Film Commission who is trying to get us to come back, Raimi says, momentarily unable to remember the name of Janet Lockwood. And we're trying to find something we can do out there. The right project hasn't come along yet, but it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. Okay. My sister still lives in Metro Detroit. My parents are still there. My nieces and nephews, my cousins. I love Detroit. It's still home.
Good for you.
Yeah, Sam. Come to Detroit. Build a film institute.
So they've already made this movie, though.
Yeah, they didn't film it in Detroit.
They didn't?
No.
What? I thought that's what he was saying.
No, he says he wants to make a movie in Detroit. By the headline, I thought they'd made this movie in Detroit, too. I thought Bill Paxton or Pullman was just, like, rolling around downtown or something like that, but apparently not. I guess he just wants to make a movie in Detroit.
Well, he should, and then we
Make a Batman movie in
we
Detroit.
can audition.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
stars.
That's right.
Or at least, extras, whatever. I
You
just
could
wanna
be
in
a
movie.
good Catwoman.
I could not, because I am so short.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What's a short film? Anyway, well, you can stand on a box or whatever they do. You know
There
how
you go.
Tom Cruise has to stand on boxes to be the same height as Nicole Kidman or whatever?
Oh, my God. That's
Nicole
awful.
Kidman can't wear high heels or whatever. Allegedly. Anyway, speaking of high heels, though, I wonder if Robin Williams wore high heels to be as tall as Monica Potter in this movie.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know how tall either of them are. I think he's like 5'8" or 9" or something. I think he's my height,
Yeah.
which is normal height for all of you out there. But we saw, I believe it was called Patchwork Adams.
Patch Adams, yes. You weirdo.
Yeah. Hunter Patchwork Adams.
I love Robin Williams, and I love his movies, and I think it's kind of cool and weird that he did 2 in a row that are both, about mental illness.
What Dreams May Come? Mm-hmm. Is about I guess kind of about mental illness.
Yeah, it's heavily about mental illness. What do you mean, kind of? His wife killed herself.
There's suicide in both of those movies. There's suicide. They talk about suicide anyway. She commits suicide. In this movie, he's contemplating suicide.
Well, and one of the characters, not the main character, commits homicide and suicide. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a murder. Spoilers, everyone. There's
Double
a murder
murder.
in this movie. Double murder. Well, is it a double murder if you murder yourself?
Murder suicide.
It's a murder-suicide, everyone.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Probably. Is that the most selfish of the murder combinations? Murder,
I feel like
suicide?
yes. I feel like that is definitely very selfish.
Or is murder get away with it more selfish?
But we can talk about that in a minute because I have some things I want to say about it, but
Yeah,
I don't want to get there yet.
Let's talk.
So, yeah, this movie starts with him checking himself into a psychiatric hospital.
In 1969, the funny year.
And immediately you can see he regretted his decision.
Kind of, yeah.
They lock him in a room with a roommate who won't get off the bed. They're like, bedpans are in the corner if he needs one.
He just starts screaming.
Yeah. Climbing the wall, saying the squirrels are going to get him.
Yeah. Imagine being schizophrenic and the worst thing you could come up with is squirrels.
It's funny. That's why he was confused by that too. It's like, squirrels?
Right.
I mean, it's better than... I mean, imagine how much more freaked out he'd be if they were like giant spiders.
Yeah, I guess, but like that's where my imagination would go.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like he didn't have much in the way of imagination.
Maybe
that
not.
character.
I don't know. Do you feel like hallucinations and delusions stem from one's imagination?
Do I feel like that? Yes, kind of. But do I know that at all? No, I don't. I don't have any. I do have an aunt that is schizophrenic. I won't mention her name out of
Respect.
Respect for her, yeah. But I do have an aunt that's schizophrenic, but I don't know much about the disorder.
Yeah. I mean, I know a little bit, but I kind of agree with you. It probably does have somewhat to do with your imagination, just like, an acid trip.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm a little more familiar with that.
I know you are. That's why I never did it, because I have a good imagination and I have a lot of nightmares, and I feel like that would probably feed into it too.
Nightmare in a couple of weeks, huh?
No, that'll be a dream come true.
Never be able to do things with Sam Raimi in Hollywood or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's how you want to get into his pictures. That's the way you want to go, whatever.
It's not.
I look down on that.
Me too. You weirdo, God.
We're both saying that, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, he checks himself into a psychiatric ward where the doctors don't care at all.
Yeah. The doctor is literally not listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about when his dad died.
And he's making himself coffee, and he's just like, yeah. Well.
Yeah, and he's like writing the whole time, so he's not actually looking at him.
And Robin Williams, like, very, in a way that I think a lot of people don't, his character shows more self-awareness than I think a lot of people that suffer from mental illness might have.
Yeah.
But he has great insight into his own psychology, and he very, clearly talks about his father dying and how it affected him and everything. And the doctor's like, and how did that make you feel? And it's like, he just told you.
Yeah. So then he started talking about, elephants going up his butt and floating in the sky, and I don't know, all this stuff. And the doctor's like, okay.
Yeah. And then he's like, wait, what?
It's awful.
And then they have group therapy where, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Because the doctor's just bad. Where there's a guy that has some kind of infirmary where he's raising his hand all the time.
He said he was catatonic.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's what the doctor said. Who knows?
That makes sense. It's a form of schizophrenia.
Really?
Yeah, catatonia.
It's scary. That's scary that's a mental illness that could just happen to you.
Well, it doesn't just happen to you. You have to be schizophrenic.
Oh, okay.
Or at least, psychotic.
One of my fears is being paralyzed, being unable to move, but aware of everything.
I don't know if they're aware or not.
That'd be like... I
don't think they are.
They made that movie, Awakenings, remember? With Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was... I don't know if they were like catatonic, I think. They had some sort of catatonia, I think. Or they might have had a different kind of disease that is like the same sort of thing, where it's just... But they're just, they're just like in wheelchairs, just...
Yeah. I mean, when they're catatonic, they have muscle rigidity, and they're just kind of gone mentally.
But anyway, he's raising his hand the whole time, and Robin Williams is like, I think he has a question. And they just take it as like, there's a couple scenes in here where it's just like, you can tell they're just like, Robin, this you're coming up with different ways to say that someone's dying. just ad lib it, just go off, and he just starts doing all the things, and you can. I'm sure there's other scenes too where he's working with the kids and stuff. Robin Williams is so good when he's on screen with children too.
Yeah.
But where they're just make the kids laugh or whatever, and they film it and then they edit it together. The guy that directed this movie directed Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Wow.
and Liar Liar.
Well, he's definitely stepped up in the world.
Yeah, he's a Jim Carrey collaborator, I guess.
But this was a fantastic movie.
I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. There's a lot of emotion to the movie.
Oh, yeah, I cried a lot.
Based on a true story about Hunter Patchy Adams, or whatever his name is, and his philosophy on how to practice medicine.
Yeah, because he realized that the doctors weren't listening and didn't care about people. And he's like, you can't help people when you don't care or connect with them.
Yeah.
So he wanted to become a doctor who actually cares about and connects with his patients.
Yeah, they treated diseases, not people. Mm-hmm. And that's and that was for a long time how medicine was, where it was be as impersonal as possible.
It still is sometimes. I mean, there's still a good portion of doctors that are like that.
For sure.
Especially psychiatrists. I've seen a lot of psychiatrists. It's like they sucked the personality out of them.
Yeah.
They have no personality. How do you... And they had to care at some point to choose to go into that field, which is why I thought it was really interesting when they're starting med school. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, I'm going to, turn you into doctors and get the humanity out of you. And it's like, I think they really do that.
Yeah, I do too. Or at least I think that's what they tried to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a more humanistic approach that's come, and a large part of it is because of the actual Hunter Adams. The humanist movement of for doctors and things like that. I mean, there's arguments both ways. I can see arguments on both sides of everything, but that's largely what this movie's about. The movie has a few different themes. Humanity and the joy of just being alive, I think, is one of them.
Yep. I don't know. There was for me, there was a lot that I personally connected to in the movie, because he was talking about his dad died when he was 9.
Yeah.
My dad died when I was 9. Yeah. And when he was talking about it, I was impressed with the dialogue. He's like, what was it like? It was like all of a sudden everything was the same, but it was different. Mm-hmm. And there was a separation between me and everybody else. And I couldn't have said that better, but that is what it feels like to all of a sudden be different. All your other friends haven't gone through this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then later in life, I'll just admit I struggle with mental illness, and I was hospitalized at one point. And I found the same thing where it helped me to try to help other people. Mm. And then I wanted to go into mental health to help people.
Yeah.
And that was his whole motivation, is that he wanted to help himself by helping people.
Yeah. When he said that, when he was I realized when I was helping people, I wasn't focusing on my own problems. I thought to myself, is that good though? Is that just a coping mechanism for not dealing with your own problems? Yeah. Or, maybe, but I guess it depends on how you look at it. Mm-hmm. It's if he's not trying to do anything to better himself or whatever, and it's just, this is it's almost treated like an addiction or whatever, helping people, then it's not as dangerous as a lot of addictions, of course, but it's probably not great for his mental health. But if what he's saying is that by helping people, he is, realized a purpose in his life, and it rounds out his existence, and that helps basically get rid of the depression, because he feels like a whole and useful person, then that probably is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's got to be a balance. And, I mean, it could definitely be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I think for him, it was a good thing because it gave his life direction.
Still alive today, and still building the Gesundheit Institute, which is a free, a projected like I think they said 41 to 44 bed hospital.
It's small.
Yeah, but it's it's going to be free to everyone. I mean, you have to start small, of course.
Yeah.
That's going to be free to everybody, and then they can get high quality treatment without having to pay a bunch of high quality prices for it.
Does it say how they're funding that in the stuff you read now? Because that would be an issue.
I would assume grants and things
donations
like that.
too,
grants,
probably.
Donations, yeah. A lot of fundraising type stuff. But that's like he and his wife and his his friends and everything. That's their big like passion project that they've been doing since they became doctors. And they've been seeing people, outside of they're working on the building basically. At this point, he has been somewhat critical of this movie, though.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I thought he would have had to approve the movie.
No, apparently not. But he says that much of the movie has been dramatized, or I think in the article that I was reading about it, he said Hollywoodified, basically, to make it more of a commercially marketable film as opposed to wholly accurate. But I think at this point, we realize that biopics like this, or biopics.
Okay,
that's what they say in Britain. That's what they say in England. Biopics. I think we kind of realized that a lot of this is dramatized.
Yeah.
Like apparently there was no one Dean that was just the villain against him, and they got the villain from Shawshank Redemption to basically play the same role here.
Right. I'm going to get you. Yeah.
Yeah. But he so apparently like that people were against him, obviously, but there were a lot of people in support of him too. Mm-hmm. And then the big thing is that the woman that he falls in love with, Monica Potter, is not a real person.
I think that's cheap. That they created this character and made us care about her, and then they kill her.
Yeah. And
she didn't even exist, so there was no purpose other than to fuck with the emotions of the audience.
Well, this movie's very classic 3-act structure, right? Mm-hmm. And her death represents the low point for the hero. Mm-hmm. That's why it's in there. The part where he's so close to giving up, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's like, "No, you fucking piece of shit. We hate each other, but we love each other."
Yeah, so I'm guessing he didn't actually go through that at all. That there was no point when he was like, "Oh, I'm going to give up" and stuff.
I don't think so. And I don't know if he. I did not read about it, but I don't know if he almost got kicked out either.
Yeah, like they just went, "Oh, this guy's kind of interesting. This is an interesting idea," and then they ran with it.
Yeah, but so apparently that character is based largely on his actual wife,
who's alive.
Yes, and partially on a friend of his who was a man who was murdered by a patient, a mentally ill patient, in a similar type fashion as they describe.
Which they don't actually describe how she was murdered, but
shotgun. He said it was involved a shotgun.
Okay,
that's all they said. Now I do think it's well filmed. Mm-hmm. I like the decision to not show like her being mm-hmm. killed. It's very like sinister and just simple, like that shot where it's like shot from the closet. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, we don't want to be late," or whatever. And it's just the way that line's delivered, the line itself is just really cryptic and creepy, and you're like, "What the fuck?" But what the reason I think that it's better they didn't show it is not only just to preserve the PG. I think this is a PG-13 movie or a PG movie, mm-hmm. but to not only to preserve the rating and for decorum's sake or whatever, but it's worse.
Yeah.
In your imagination, imagining what happened as opposed to seeing it is worse. Unless you're the guy who's the scariest thing you can think of is squirrels, I guess. But
right. I mean, yeah. Honestly, I kind of imagine that he probably raped her too before he killed her, because it seemed like that.
Maybe.
It just seemed like that vibe.
I mean, I didn't think about that till now, but maybe.
That was my first concern. Not that he was going to kill her, but
That is true. That was my first concern, too, is that he was going to rape her.
I feel like he probably did both.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, in real life, he did nothing. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess we're contemplating this thing that didn't even happen.
But that's movies for you. I mean, in the end, none of it happened.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's creepier though. It's creepier. Just how it was portrayed is creepier than if they actually showed it.
But as soon as she listened to the message and then we see her going, I was like, oh God, she's so stupid. Like a woman especially should, but no one honestly should go by themselves to any patient, but especially one who you know has mental health problems without even telling anyone that you're going there.
Yeah. Because this person's a stranger.
Yeah.
Just because you've helped them in a clinic or whatever, you don't know them.
Yeah.
Like it's the same as going to going inside any stranger's home.
Yeah, you just don't do that.
No. Like
Not smart.
if she was gonna go, or if she was like, hey, maybe somebody should check on this person, then you go with somebody else. You go together.
Yeah, 2 people should have been there. And the one person definitely shouldn't have been a woman. Although a man can't stand up to a gun either. So, I mean, he could have killed a man he came to.
I mean, they could have, even with 2, if he's got a gun, I mean, but I think you have a better chance with 2 because you can't point the gun at 2 people at the same time.
That's true. That is true. At least one of them might get away or get the gun away.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he might just lose his nerve if he sees more than one person.
Right.
I don't know. But, yeah. What did you think about the depiction of mental illness in the movie? Because at first, I was like, oh, is he just like generic Hollywood crazy? Mm-hmm. Like the guy that was screaming about the squirrels and stuff like that. But then you pointed out after we watched the movie, schizophrenia, and I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you like, what do you think about how they depicted this?
I think they did a great job.
Yeah.
And like especially the scene where they're doing the group and he kind of gets everybody like laughing and stuff, like you could see that they're real people, not just acting crazy. Like, and I liked that.
Yeah.
And that then later we saw some of them later in the movie like out in the world and not as crazy because that's how it goes. Like people get better, mental illness ebbs and flows. So
Yeah, it was a little One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to me.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
No, I liked it.
Oh.
But I mean, when he was in the mental institution, that's kind of what it reminded me of. I mean, he does a Jack Nicholson impression. I'm surprised he didn't pull it out. But
he did. Oh, okay. I thought you meant in the movie. I'm like, did I miss
it? Not in
it?
the movie. I mean, like in real life, like he does a Nicholson impression. Robin Williams. But yeah, that it reminded me of that a little bit. That the beginning of the movie, and then obviously later it goes far away from that, but then later it reminded me of the movie PCU. Remember when we watched PCU in 1994?
Why did it remind you of that?
No, it didn't. It's just he was at college. So
Okay.
then it reminded me of Animal House. You don't remember the part in Animal House where Gopher rapes and murders that
Oh, dear
girl?
God. Come on. The most outlandish thing he did in this movie was creating the legs and stirrups
Oh, my God.
on the entrance of the school building to welcome a group of gynecologists that were visiting the school.
The fact that he did that by himself is pretty impressive, too.
Did he really do it, though? That's what I want to know. Or is this another thing they made up for the movie?
They
'Cause
probably just made it up
it seems pretty unrealistic.
Paper mache.
Yeah.
Paper mache giant legs.
There's no way he could do that by himself. But yeah, all his friends were like, nope, we're out. Walked
We're
away from
leaving.
him.
Yeah. So, Philip Seymour Hoffman apparently plays the same character in every movie, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, because
he
he's
was
always the downer.
He was the asshole in Scent of a Woman, Hoo-Ah, the one turning in Chris O'Donnell's character. And then he was in something else we saw, right?
Was it Suicide Kings? I feel like he was in that.
Maybe. He was also in Twister. That he played like just kind of.
Yeah,
like
he was fine. He wasn't an asshole.
Off the wall guy.
Off the ball.
Off the ball. He was.
No balls for him.
Oh my God.
No, I'm trying to remember. I think there was another one too.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, he does. He plays a very similar character in a lot of movies.
I mean, he seems like a decently good actor, I guess.
Flatliners.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
He was the downer there, too.
I would just like to see him in, like, maybe, I don't know, a little bit more of a variety of roles.
That would be cool.
But yeah, he's like, I'll tell you what, Patch. You don't study and you're smarter than me. How's it possible? His English accent isn't that bad, but he's affecting some kind of accent.
Yeah, was it supposed to be English? I don't know.
I don't know if it was supposed to be English or if it was supposed to be like cloistered New England accents.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But they're in Virginia, so, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, Hunter Adams is from West Virginia. So.
Okay.
But anyway, that is the movie. I don't really have anything more to say about it. No. It was very good.
Very good. I would definitely recommend it.
It came out in 98, obviously. Came out last year, the very tail end of last year. Which is why we're doing it now, because there were movies we didn't want to watch this week, I guess.
So hopefully you can get to it while it's still in the theater, but if not, definitely rent it when it comes out on video.
Yeah, that's a good thing. If you haven't seen it already, go see it. But other than that, Kira, why don't you tell the people where they can say Gesundheit?
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Yep.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
All right, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.